Hey guys, welcome back. So let's start with making some brown butter. To a light coloured pan, we're going to add 110 grams of butter and heat it up on a low to medium heat, stirring constantly until we see it go through the melting, boiling and foaming phases. This usually takes me around 5 to 10 minutes at most. Once all the crackling sounds have subsided, take it off the heat immediately and pour it into a bowl or a jug to cool. The brown butter should be between 30 and 40 degrees Celsius when we eventually add it to the batter. When the butter reaches around 45 degrees, we can preheat the oven to 200 degrees Celsius and finally start making the batter. To a large mixing bowl, add 3 egg whites and loosen it with a whisk until it begins to foam. Then we can add in 80 grams of icing sugar, half a teaspoon of vanilla extract or paste, and 18 grams of honey. Mix that together until the sugar has completely dissolved. Next, add in 50 grams of almond flour and 40 grams of plain flour, and again whisk until smooth. If you worked quickly and you find the butter hasn't cooled to at least 40 degrees yet, then it's fine to let the batter rest for a few minutes. It will become thicker in the process, but that's not a problem. Most recipes encourage resting the batter, which is probably the correct way to do things. I'm just a bit impatient and so far it's still worked for me. When the butter is finally within the 30 to 40 degrees range, we can go ahead and add it to the batter, mixing it until it becomes smooth and thick like this. Finally, we can add in around 50 grams of dark chocolate chips and mix them in until evenly distributed. As you've probably noticed, my chocolate chips have bloomed, but that's not a problem. It's only an issue if we need to temper the chocolate. So if you have any bloomed chocolate lying around, this is a great way to use it up. Okay, so a quick mention of equipment. Traditionally, we'd make Tiger Financiers in a pan like the red one here. Assuming you don't have one of these pans, don't worry, you can use a standard or mini muffin pan, buttered and floured, and after baking, we'll just cut out the center to make a little well. Next, it's time to fill the pans. Usually, I'd transfer the batter to a jug, but since it was already used, I used a piping bag instead. It doesn't need a piping tip or anything, just make sure you cut a hole that's actually large enough for the chocolate chips to pass through, or you'll end up with a clogged bag like I have here. For the muffin pans, aim to fill them around half full, and for the other pan, I like to fill it to about 90%. But if you want to get more financiers out of one batch, fill it until the centerpiece is just covered. Once you're done filling, pop the tray into the oven and immediately reduce the temperature to 180 degrees Celsius. Then bake according to the time shown here. As soon as they're out of the oven, turn them out onto a wire rack and allow to cool. To finish it all off, we'll need to make some chocolate ganache. So in this bowl, I've got 30 grams of dark chocolate, to which I'm adding 30 grams of heavy cream that I've warmed up in a pan until bubbles just start to show around the edge. Let it sit for a minute to warm through the chocolate, then we can gently stir from the center until we have a silky, smooth and shiny ganache. It will be slightly loose at this point, but it will set as it cools. If you made these financiers in the muffin pan, use a knife or an apple corer to make a shallow well in the center, like I'm doing here. Be careful though, not to push too far and take out the base of the financier. Finally, we can fill all the holes with a thin layer of ganache. With these, a little goes a long way. I personally found that overfilling with ganache made the financiers a little bit too rich for my taste. But if that's what you like, then you do you. I'd also recommend waiting at least 30 minutes before digging in, to give the ganache time to set up properly. And that's it. As always, thank you so much for watching, and until the next one, happy baking!